Fishguard, February 1797. The sky is bruised. The wind claws at the hedgerows. Out in the bay, 4 ships lie heavy in the water. Not British, not merchant, not friendly. They arrived without warning. No fanfare, no envoy. Just iron, canvas, and the quiet threat of war. By morning, the landings begin. 1,400 men, some trained, most not, spill onto Welsh soil. Soldiers in darkened coats. Convicts offered freedom if they fight. A French invasion force aimed at the heart of Britain. The officers lose control. Drunken looting replaces orders. Panic spreads faster than the chain of command. And then, they spot movement on the cliff tops. A line of red appears, marching with eerie precision. Dozens, maybe hundreds. Black hats, upright backs, too distant to read clearly, but they hold their formation. The French falter. This wasn't part of the plan. They'd been told the garrison was small, barely worth the name, but the cliffs are bristling with redcoats. They peer upward. The wind stings. The red line does not move. And for the first time, they feel the weight of their mistake. But for a dozen of them, that mistake is about to sear. Hot, humiliating, and impossible to live down. The shame of being bested, not by redcoats, but by one woman with no patience for fools. Her name is Jemima Nicholas, and she's about to see off the last invasion of mainland Britain, armed with nothing but a pitchfork and a few friends in their Sunday best. She was born in Mathry, Pembrokeshire in 1755, a cobbler's wife with a life as steady as the soil beneath her. But Europe was burning. Revolution in France, a king executed, an empire born in blood. And across the channel stood Britain, ancient rival, sworn foe. The one power France had not yet broken. And even a cobbler's wife in West Wales knew the sea could carry war to her door, because it already had. In 1779, an American privateer crept into the bay beneath nightfall and opened fire. Cannonballs struck the harbor, windows shattered, children screamed. By morning, the sea was empty, and the town had changed. A fort was built on the cliff. 7 iron mouths pointed at the waves, a promise carved in stone, never again. But stone crumbles, and memory fades. By the time hostile ships returned, the guns were silent, the fort unmanned, and war, once more, rode in with the tide. 3 strikes to test the island's edge. The first drove for Ireland, wrecked by storms. The second turned back in the North Sea, mutiny and wind. Fishguard was the third, the forgotten gamble, the invasion no one expected. This time, the French made it ashore. 1,400 men, some trained, most not. Hungry, drunk, undisciplined. Their commanders argued, their lines collapsed, and discipline dissolved into chaos. But on the Welsh side of the field, something else was taking shape. Jemima Nicholas moved through the lanes and fields nearby, a cobbler's wife with a pitchfork in her hand and fire in her step. She called women from the surrounding cottages and farms, mothers, daughters, sisters. They wrapped themselves in red shawls, pulled tall black hats firm against the wind. Everyday garb in West Wales, yet from a distance, it carried another shape. To French eyes stung by salt and wind, it was a line of British infantry, a regiment born from cloth and courage. And the illusion prevailed. The women held the line, while Jemima went hunting. She strode into the lanes and farmyards, pitchfork level, voice carrying fire. A dozen Frenchmen strayed too far, scattered and half drunk. They met her glare and faltered. One woman, resolute. Then others rose beside her, and the French were driven down in disgrace. By the time she reached the square, 12 prisoners trailed in shame. She drove them into St. Mary's, a house of God turned prison, and left them to the dark. Beyond the church walls, the French unraveled. Some hid in hedgerows, some threw down their arms, others staggered through fields, too drunk to stand. At Lanunda, they broke into the church, tore pages from the Bible, and left their shame in the pews. By the third day, the invasion bent to the inevitable. On Goodwick Sands, the surrender was given. 1,400 men, an army on paper, brought low by fear, confusion, and the courage of Jemima Nicholas. Some still dismiss her, a fireside tale, a woman magnified by rumor, embroidered by time. But Jemima Nicholas was no phantom. She was flesh, she was fire, and her name endures in stone. And in Fishguard Library, her story blazes in thread and color, a tapestry vast as memory, where the pitchfork still gleams, and her defiance lives on in every stitch. But her legacy is not bound by stone or thread. It burns in every woman who will not be cowed, who meets the world with fire in her step, who turns fury into triumph and defiance into history. Jemima Nicholas, a hidden heroine, fearless, resolute, unforgotten.